Spice and Wolf, Volume 11, Side Colors 2 by Isuna Hasekura. The Wolf and the Golden Promise. The story begins with Lawrence, a seasoned traveling merchant, and his companion Holo, a wise wolf deity disguised as a young woman journeying through the countryside. Holo, ever the gourmand, expresses a desire for poultry, specifically a hen, which leads Lawrence to describe a castrated rooster, a delicacy he claims to be even tastier. As fate would have it, they encounter a young man selling ale and a chicken, prompting Holo to jokingly hold Lawrence to his earlier boast. They agree to purchase the chicken and ale, but Lawrence, sensing an opportunity, proposes to buy several more chickens. The young man, overjoyed, leads them to his remote village, Jisahz, where they are warmly welcomed by the villagers and the village elder. Lawrence quickly identifies the village as a colony village, a newly established settlement built by people seeking to atone for past sins by constructing an abbey in this isolated location. He recognizes the potential for lucrative trade, as the village lacks access to essential goods. During their stay, Lawrence is asked to translate a land deed written in the church's holy characters, which leads to the resolution of a long-standing dispute between two villagers over land division. He quickly earns the respect and trust of the villagers, solidifying his position as a potential trade partner. However, Holo, sensing Lawrence's growing preoccupation with business, becomes increasingly irritable. That night, Holo reveals her true displeasure. While Lawrence enjoys the spiced ale offered by the villagers, Holo finds it repulsive and feels left out as Lawrence focuses solely on business matters. She yearns for him to acknowledge her contributions and treat her as an equal partner, not just a traveling companion who consumes resources. The next day, another land dispute arises, this time concerning the lack of a common reference point for land boundaries. Holo, drawing upon her experiences in her home village of Paslo, proposes a unique solution: a memory marker ceremony. A young boy, Clory, is chosen to memorize the surrounding landscape while facing each of the 4 cardinal directions and offering prayers. He is then soundly slapped across the face by Holo, ensuring he will forever remember the location and the scene. This unorthodox but effective solution is met with amusement and approval by the villagers, further cementing Lawrence and Holo's value to the community. As they prepare to depart, Lawrence, overwhelmed by the potential for profit, jokingly offers Holo a reward for her assistance. This prompts Holo to request a written contract for their journey back to Yoitsu, her homeland. Lawrence, initially taken aback, realizes his insensitivity and apologizes, acknowledging Holo's desire for a tangible reminder of their agreement. He agrees to write the contract, and Holo, satisfied, reveals her true favorite pastime: falling asleep while enjoying idle conversation with Lawrence. The story ends with Holo playfully teasing Lawrence for falling into her trap, as he had been so focused on gaining the village's business that he neglected her emotional needs. They settle into a comfortable silence, their bond strengthened by their shared experiences and the promise of future adventures. The Wolf and the Verdant Detour. The story begins with Lawrence and Holo traveling through a winter landscape, enjoying a rare warm day. Lawrence, feeling the urge for a break from their journey, consults a map and discovers a path leading to a lush green field hidden within a nearby forest. He proposes a detour to enjoy a relaxing nap in the sun, which piques Holo's interest. However, Holo, being a wolf deity, expresses her distaste for simply lying in the grass and playfully questions Lawrence's priorities, reminding him of their tight schedule. Lawrence assures her that a brief respite will improve their overall efficiency and promises to abandon the detour if the path proves too difficult. As they venture into the forest, the road takes unexpected turns, deviating from the map and leading them through a network of intersecting paths. Holo, slightly tipsy from the wine she's been enjoying, reminisces about the pleasures of different seasons in the forest, further fueling Lawrence's desire to reach the meadow. Lawrence, realizing they might be lost, becomes conflicted. His pride prevents him from suggesting they turn back, but he also recognizes the risks of forging ahead. Holo, ever perceptive, teases him for his transparent stubbornness and reminds him that their enjoyment of the journey doesn't hinge on reaching a specific destination. She then reveals her true desire: to fall asleep while engaging in idle conversation with Lawrence. This revelation surprises Lawrence, as he had often misinterpreted her tendency to doze off during their talks as selfishness. He realizes his own foolishness and apologizes for his lack of understanding. Holo, having gained the upper hand in their playful banter, gently chides Lawrence for his tendency to analyze everything on a set of scales, focusing solely on profit and loss and neglecting the nuances of human interaction. She encourages him to embrace the spontaneity of their journey and find joy in the simple act of conversation. The story concludes with Holo falling asleep as they continue their journey, content with the warmth of their shared blanket and the comforting sound of Lawrence's voice. Lawrence, humbled by Holo's wisdom, reflects on his own shortcomings and resolves to be more attentive to her needs and desires, recognizing that true happiness lies not just in achieving goals, but in cherishing the moments along the way. The Black Wolf's Cradle. The story begins with Fleur, a former noblewoman of the fallen House of Bolin, now learning the ways of trade under the guidance of Olar, her family's former bookkeeper. She has recently returned from a trading journey, having sold a load of herring and purchased hay, but Olar scolds her for failing to negotiate a higher price for the hay, resulting in a loss. Fleur defends her actions, explaining that the villagers were desperate and needed the money. Olar emphasizes the importance of thinking like a merchant and prioritizing profit over sentimentality. He reminds Fleur that their livelihood depends on her ability to make sound business decisions. Fleur, still adjusting to her new life as a commoner, grapples with the conflict between her noble upbringing and the harsh realities of the mercantile world. Later, Olar suggests exploring the horse trade, anticipating a rise in demand due to a potential war. Fleur, though skeptical of her own abilities, agrees to investigate the opportunity. During a visit to the trading company, Fleur encounters a merchant named Hans, who advises her against the horse trade due to its risks and suggests investing in clothing instead. He introduces her to Milton Post, a young man with a talent for selling clothes who is seeking capital to start his own business. Fleur is intrigued by the prospect and meets with Milton, discovering that he is also a fallen noble, the third son of a mistress from a prestigious family. They bond over their shared experiences and their desire to prove themselves in the world of commerce. Milton shares his business plan and his ambition to succeed in order to spite the family who cast him out. Fleur, inspired by his determination, agrees to provide the necessary capital. Olar expresses his concerns about the venture, particularly about Milton's trustworthiness and the potential for manipulation by the Jones Company, which is facilitating the deal. Fleur, however, remains confident in her decision and assures Olar that she has carefully considered the risks and rewards. She believes in Milton's abilities and sees this as an opportunity to forge her own path and achieve financial independence. Fleur and Milton finalize their contract and place an order for clothing through the Jones Company. However, upon receiving the shipment, they discover that the order has been altered. All the clothes are black, instead of the bright, fashionable colors they had chosen. Hans reveals that he deliberately manipulated the contract, taking advantage of Fleur's inexperience and exploiting her trust in Milton. Fleur is devastated by this betrayal and realizes the ruthlessness of the mercantile world. Olar, feeling responsible for her misfortune, offers to intervene and retrieve the stolen goods by force. However, Fleur, refusing to be a victim, decides to take matters into her own hands. She resolves to reclaim the clothes and her own resolve, transforming from a naive noblewoman into a determined merchant. Fleur and Olar set out on horseback, tracking Milton, who has stolen the black clothing, to repay his debt. They find him severely injured after a wagon accident. Milton begs for forgiveness, admitting his fear and desperation drove him to betray Fleur's trust. Fleur, however, has hardened her heart and sees this as an opportunity to turn the situation to her advantage. She coldly informs Milton that black clothes only sell for funerals and proceeds to deliver the final blow, ensuring his demise. With a newfound ruthlessness, she instructs Olar to prepare the black clothes and amber jewelry for sale, recognizing the demand for mourning attire following Milton's accidental death. The story concludes with Fleur adopting the name Yves Bolon and embracing her identity as a merchant. She has learned a harsh lesson about the nature of trade and the importance of self-reliance. Despite the pain and betrayal she has endured, she remains determined to succeed and carve her own path in the unforgiving world of commerce. If you enjoyed this summary, please consider subscribing to the channel.